Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Evan. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly the 3 trades that I took on Nasdaq to lose 330 bucks, I think. So I did absolutely terrible today, and this is exactly what happened. So full transparency, right? I was right on every trade except for one, and I lost every single one of them. So going into the day, obviously you could see that we were chopping sideways. We had a huge push up overnight. We were chopping sideways. I noticed that we broke structure to the downside as soon as we opened. So I wanted to take a short trade down to this equilibrium area of this bullish fair value gap. Now there was a bullish fair value gap on like, I believe it's a 5 minute, the 5 minute as well. It wasn't just the 1 minute. Yeah, this huge fair value gap right here. And you can see we went back and we touched the middle of that perfectly, but just not when I wanted us to. So unfortunately, I lost, and I'll show you guys the first trade. So that's exactly what happened. We had a huge push down. Perfect. We're creating a break of structure. We're getting a lot of momentum to the downside, and I notice us bounce right here. I know this is not where we want to fully bounce because we haven't filled in halfway of that fair value gap, and we haven't of this fair value gap. We haven't filled in halfway of this fair value gap yet, and we had not. I believe we hadn't fully met the 50% retracement of this huge move. Well, I guess from here to here either. So with that being said, I wanted to see a pullback, which was right here. I wanted to see a pullback like this and then a continuation down. As soon as we saw a pullback here, I didn't take it right here. I should have. This would have been a perfect entry right off this candle. I took it right in the middle of this candle, kind of right around here once we cross the EMAs again. And as you can see, kind of faked out to the downside and then went straight back up. I have my stop loss above this 2 minute fair value, or this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Let me mark this out. I have my stop loss right above this 1 minute fair value gap. Right, we came close to. I was like, all right, bet I think we can get it to curl over because we hit the EMAs, psych, and went straight up and hit my stop loss. So that was minus like $120. And then, so that was the first trade. And then second trade I took was actually on TQQQ. And if you guys don't know, I trade shares. So I trade SQQQ and I trade TQQQ. SQQQ goes up when QQQ goes down, and TQQQ goes up when QQQ goes up. So there's one inverse, and then the other one just follows along with it. So after this, we had this push up, and right now, right, we close above this. We close above that fair value gap. I'm thinking we're going to be bullish. Then I said, okay, let me try a trade, right? Just back up to basically take out this because we failed to take it out right here. Or we met like equal highs right there, right? We pulled back. We're still within trend. No break of structure to the downside whatsoever. We bounce right here. I enter right around here, right? Just targeting this. I'm only targeting this with my stop loss below this low. We push up, fail immediately, and then that's minus another, I believe, $128 on that one. So far, 2 bad trades on the day. And obviously, as you could see on the first trade, my thesis was correct, but I didn't have my stop loss in the right place, and my entry wasn't as good as it should have been. Instead of entering off of this candle, I should have entered off of this pullback right here, and then I could have had stop loss here, and I wouldn't have gotten stopped out. It would have dropped perfectly in my favor, but that never happened. So that being said, obviously, it went down in my favor. If I would have just held and had my stop loss in the right place, I would have never taken the second trade either. But moving on from that, we took a third and final trade. I have to look at the picture because I forget exactly what it was. Okay, so this was the third and final trade. We went down, we hit the equilibrium of that area. I said, perfect, right? I wanted to take this to the upside, but I didn't. Of course, I didn't take the trade. It actually worked out, right? So instead of taking that, I waited because we already started pumping off of this. We created a bunch of fair value gaps, little fair value gaps within here. Went up here, made a higher high, taking out that high, pushed down, made a lower high in this area, and then I enter right in the middle of this. Literally, we're basically right on this blue dashed line right here. And then I proceed to sit in this trade for like an hour. How long was this? 11:06 up until this is where I stopped out, was above this range at 12:12. So literally an hour and 6 minutes is how long I sat in this trade. Oh my gosh, bro. I literally just wanted this thing to go down, right? It obviously kept breaking back below the EMAs. All I wanted to see was either it take this fair value gap, the lower one, right, and retest this little resistance area, or go down here and take out this low or this low. And all we saw was like barely anything, right here, and then immediately a rip back up. And sadly, eventually, it just went straight up, broke above the range, and my stop loss here was a break above this high, which is basically just the top of the range that we were playing in. And that was a $70 loss. So that was a smaller loss, use smaller size, all that good stuff. But regardless, that is exactly how I lost about $330 today on Nasdaq, trading TQQQ and SQQQ. So obviously some things to point out for next time would be just being a little bit more patient in terms of taking my entry, and then on top of that, being a little bit more risky with my entries, right? So this would have been a perfect entry after this candle formed, and I could have just caught this area, this trade, right? Just that price action within there, and it would have been perfectly fine with that overall, and I could have just taken profits. But because I entered right here in this trade, I was only ever up, I want to say 20 cents, 10 or 20 cents per share. So it might be different because some people trade differently with options and futures, but I trade shares, and basically I would have been up 10 or 20 cents. I had 800 shares, right? So it's not very much. It would have been like $100, $160 at the absolute peak, right? So it wasn't enough for me to take profit, or even take half at that level. So I would have had to have a better entry if I would have entered right around here. Then I would have had a much better trade. I could have taken at least half off and then stopped the rest at break even. But overall, that's exactly how I lost money today, and I'll be making another video for tomorrow. So stay updated with these because we'll be just updating every single trade that I take. That was 3 trades. I did overtrade today, I will admit that, but each one of them, for the most part, was rather valid. Price, broke structure in certain instances. We pulled back. All of them were decent entries. This one not so much, but this was a decent entry. I literally entered right around here, right, for a bounce. We started moving perfectly in my favor, dropped and just stopped us out. So unfortunately, we lost multiple times today, but we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and like this video for more videos. I like this one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.